When you start anything, the first step, you're excited. And then you take another step and another step. The enthusiasm from the beginning starts to fade out.
Your future is in your hands. You know what that means? You got to work on your mind. Fortify yourself. You got to upgrade, level up your skill set. You want to be in a community of collaborative, supportive relationships that's going in your direction. And anybody that don't have the mindset that you have, let them go.
You lost sight of the long-term goal, and it faded. It faded from memory, and the passion dried up. So we stopped the daily tasks that will allow us to achieve our goals. And you began to rationalize. Maybe I can't. Maybe I don't really want to. Maybe this goal isn't for me. And so you give up. You let it go. No, don't do that.
If you understand completely what I'm going to tell you from this moment on, your life will never be the same again. The things you want just seem to fall in line. And from now on, you won't have the problems, the worries, the gnawing lump of anxiety that perhaps you've experienced before. They'll be things of the past. Here's the key to success. We become what we think about.
When you go to sleep at night, how are you going to feel about your day? All depends on who you decide to include in your day. You got 24 hours in a day. Stop running around acting as if you don't have a choice. You do have a choice.
Don't let neglect destroy your days, destroy your life, and destroy your future. Go back and do what you can. And if you'll do what you can, then life will give you some extraordinary things to do. You got to take care of the small disciplines before life will give you a chance to handle the more complicated disciplines.
You've got to control the beginning and the end of your day with your thinking. And so one of the first things you need to do when you wake up is to take a 5-minute window and you visually see your goals and dreams. Picture them as videos in your mind. Picture them as you possessing them and see them written down on a sheet of paper. This will begin to control your mind for the day.
I want that long-term goal to be so embedded in my mind that I never lose sight of it. Ever. And the little tasks and projects and short-term goals that you tackle need to lead towards strategic victory, winning the long war.
Start working a plan to get there and minimizing everything else. Getting very clear on the mission. Very clear on the mission. And working the plan. Everything else, guess what it gets? A no. When you do things, do them intentional. Do the things that are going to move you forward.
Every day, do something that moves you toward that goal, that keeps that goal alive and in sight and in focus. However small or insignificant that step might seem, take it, do it, make it happen, because that goal isn't going to achieve itself.
Waking up early, working out every day, if you start with those two kind of cornerstones, and then the other thing is, figure out what you're going to do during the day. Don't go to bed without a plan of how you're going to handle the next day.
To go forward or to go back. You're going to always have that decision. I made all of my dreams bigger than my fears. So when I felt like quitting, the results would have been devastating to the goal I was trying to attain. My motivation was I was just exhausted from poverty.
See, whatever you're worried about, if someone called you right now and said, listen, you got 2 days to live, I'm telling you, you won't be worried about your bills, ladies and gentlemen. Look at your life right now. If you want to keep on getting what you're getting, keep on doing what you're doing. You've got to be willing to change your ways.
You do have a choice. You love rumors, you love issues, you love problems, you love people calling you with their problems. You love it. That's why at the end of every night you are drained, because you are submerged yourself in dysfunctional things, people, and situations.
I have a schedule and I execute the schedule. Parts of my day are very structured. Parts of my day are very disciplined, which gives me freedom in other parts of the day.
I was sick of living in my car, I've been living in my car for 3 years. I was sick of not having money. And so for me to quit, and see, that's what people do. People quit when it's at their hardest moment. But if it's at your hardest moment, why would you quit? I mean, think about it. If you're going through hell, why stop there? Move, keep going.
Your life is working. If you don't like what you have produced, you're a director, you are the star, you wrote this script. If you want to begin to make your stuff happen for you, I think that it's very important that you start trusting yourself. Listen to yourself. Don't try and make everything logical. There's some things about life that defies logic, that you just can't explain how the outcome is going to be.
And then at the very end of the day, what I do, one of the last things I do after my prayer is I read through my goals and my dreams. I picture them. When I get my sleep, it's going to work on revealing to me. It's playing back the video, believe it or not, of my day in my mind, and it helps me wake up ready to get them as well.
They have the magic touch. You've heard them say that about someone. Everything he touches turns to gold. And have you ever noticed that a man who becomes successful tends to continue to become successful? It's because of goals. Some of us have them, some don't. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going.
And you are here this week to learn vital information about creating a future and be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past.
Why? We conform. And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95% who don't succeed. These people believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed people.
A habit is something you do without giving it any conscious thought. And you know that most people live by habit. They don't think. The late and great Dr. McFarland from down in Kentucky said 2% of the people think, 3% of the people think they think, and he said 95% of the people would rather die than think.
The wonderful thing is this: if you do what other successful people do, you eventually get the same result that they do. Most people are broke up into their 40s and 50s. So if you're broke today, you're just one of the gang. The only question is, do you stay there? And the answer is no.
If you are not defined by some vision that is bigger than you, and you are not passionate about that vision, then you're left with the old hardware of the past in your brain, and you will be predictable in your life.
Now, when I started off in this many years ago, I came from very poor beginnings. I dropped out of high school. I could only get laboring jobs. I was told, by the way, if you don't get a good education, you won't do well in life. And I believed that for a long time until I found there's hundreds of thousands, millions of people who dropped out of high school who went on to become millionaires and billionaires as well.
A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked this question: why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say, everyone goes to work in the morning, and that's the reason they do it.
Learning is the beginning of life change. Some people want to start with motivation. But you don't start with motivation. You can tell we don't spend that much time on motivation. And we're here, enough motivation, certainly. But here's the best motivation we've got going. When we bring our dedication and let it show, we let the work of our hands show, that's the motivation we want.
You've got to learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. That once you begin to trust yourself, life takes on a whole new meaning, because now I want you to do that feeling that you are led.
When we think a new thought, literally opens a space up in our minds, in our lives, that never existed before prior to having that thought. And what happens is your unconscious and subconscious mind goes to work on filling in that space with the people, places, resources, and things to fill up that space and fully furnish it. That's the power of how we think.
You are thinking in the past. And so most people then spend the majority of their life talking about why they never arrive at their vision of the future because of some past experience.
You can exercise them, and you can literally create the start of anything because you are creative. The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse.
At some point, we all bought into this lie that you've got to feel ready in order to change. At some point, you're going to have the courage. At some point, you're going to have the confidence. And it's complete garbage. And so there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true.
We say that success is not an accident. Failure is not an accident. So if you just follow the tracks of other successful people, no matter where you're starting from, you eventually get to the same place that they get. The two most important things we need to have to be happy and healthy is a sense of control, things are happening for a reason, and a sense of coherence, a feeling that things fit together.
Just get stronger. Get better. We've all got those personal winters. I'm asking all of you to get better in spite of the winters, in spite of the downturn. The money downturn, the social downturn, the personal downturn, whatever it is. The key is not to wish for a better winter. The key is to wish for more strength, more wisdom, more courage, get better, get wiser, get stronger.
Some of you are having problems with battles of things you're trying to change and you can't change them. Old habits that you were keeping for the last 20 years and now you want to change and it's tough to change. If you keep watching pornography, you keep reading dirty books, now the first time you see it, it doesn't bother you. But if you keep seeing it, it becomes downloaded.
When an idea comes into your mind, you want to ask yourself this question. Don't ask whether it's wrong or whether it's right. That's not the question. You know what the question is? Will that idea take me from where I am and move me in the direction of the star that I'm shooting at?
You're never going to feel like it. Motivation's garbage. You only feel motivated to do the things that are easy. Why is it so hard to do the little things that would improve my life? And what I've come to realize, the way that our minds are designed is our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you.
But now let's make these notes now on setting goals. The promise of the future is an awesome force. We look back for experience, but we have to look forward now for inspiration. And what gives us inspiration to get up in the morning and do our job, learn skills, develop all that we can possibly be, is the promise of the future. And it can be so powerful that it can overwhelm any adversary you might have, any difficulties you might have. Here's a key phrase: reasons make the difference in how your life works out. Reasons make the difference in your appetite and zest for taking on the challenge, doing the job, becoming successful. Mr. Shoaff said, if you have enough reasons, you can do the most incredible things. You can get through the most difficult day. You can overcome the most unbelievable challenges if you have enough reasons. And so he said to me, if you haven't got a list of your goals, Mr. Rohn, it's probably because you don't have enough reasons. He said, I'm sure since I've met you, you have enough intelligence. And he said, you have enough good health. And he said, you have, you know, all of those things working for you, but here's what you must work on now is to have enough reasons. Looking into the future, developing reasons. Okay. Now here's a note to make. It's important to make sure that the greatest pull on your life is the pull of the future. Some people let the past pull them back. The past can be like gravity if you let it to pull you back. Some people live in the past. They live in the darkness of the past. They live in the mistakes of the past. They live in the discouragement of the past. They didn't make it, you know, and that affects them for the rest of their life, living in the past. So we don't want the past to pull us back, to live in the past. So make this note, dreams and goals can become magnets. Dreams and goals can become magnets. And the stronger the goal, the higher the purpose, the more powerful the objective, the stronger this magnet is that pulls you that direction. Now, not only does your goals and your objectives pull you that direction, here's what they also do. They pull you through. They pull you through all kinds of down days. They pull you through a difficult time. It'll pull you through some winter of your life. Some people get lost in the confusion of the day simply because their goal is not bright enough to pull them through. Next, it's goals that drive us to take advantage of the spring. Why would the farmer put the plow in the ground in the spring if he couldn't see the vision of the harvest when the summer is finished? Is it possible to see the finished harvest? And the answer is yes. We do that simply by faith. Key phrase, faith is the ability to see things that don't yet exist. So here's what we want to do in our goal setting session, is to start looking into the future of what you would like to accomplish and where you would like to go, the person you would like to be, and see if you can't get a better picture of the finished objective. See yourself there. See yourself in possession of. For your dreams to greatly influence you, for the future to pull you, your future must be well planned. There are two ways to face the future. One is with apprehension, the other with anticipation. Guess how many people face the future with apprehension? Why? They don't have it well designed. And without really thinking about it, they have probably bought someone else's view of how to live. You will face the future with anticipation when you have planned a future you can get excited about, when you have designed your future results in advance. In this way, the future will capture your imagination. It will exert an enormous influence on you. And to design your future, you must have goals. Well-defined goals are like a magnet. They pull you in their direction. And the better you have defined them, the better you have described them, the harder you work on them, the stronger they pull. And they pull you through all kinds of difficulties too. Without goals, it is easy to let life deteriorate to the point where you're just making a living. It is not difficult to get trapped by economic necessity and settle for existence rather than substance. We all have a choice. We can either make a living or design a life. Now, we're going to take some time to actually start designing the next 10 years of your life. We're going to start setting your goals. Goal setting is one of the most important skills to develop if you want to design your future. I'm going to give you enough homework not only to keep you busy for the rest of your life, but also to help you create the kind of life you may have always dreamed about living, but never believed possible. So let's get on with it. The sooner you exert the discipline, the sooner you will be enjoying the results. Once the results start to come, believe me, you won't mind the hard work and discipline it's going to take.
Credit goes to our awesome patrons who make videos like this one possible. Consider joining them to support our work. You can also support us by subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell button to get notified when our new videos are released. And as always, thank you for watching.
And what didn't happen, and how you were treated, and who didn't raise you, and who didn't love you. You don't have to grieve about it at all. Once you understand, the greater the digression, the stronger the progression. I'm telling you that a new house doesn't make a new marriage. I'm talking about a new outfit doesn't make you a new person. Created it, passionate about, excited to do, and the rest of it is all the dismal, dumb stuff that we all have to do in order to survive. Just crazy stuff that we're doing. Wonder what would happen if we would go from doing 80% of things that are busy but not effective.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win. You're born with a gift. It's not that then you get good at something along the way. What you're good at, you don't take for granted. You don't betray it. What if you do? Betray your gift? You betray yourself. For far too long, you've been holding yourself back. This is time for you. To walk with purpose, it's time for you. To walk into your gift.
If Nelson Mandela had not been incarcerated, had not been mistreated, had not been ostracized, he would not have the passion to do what he does. If Oprah Winfrey had not gone through the things that she had gone through, she would not be so committed to making sure that everybody finds their purpose and finds their dream and everybody gets healed and everybody's okay. I'm telling you, what you think is working against you is actually working for you. My challenge in our generation is that gradually through entertainment, through television, through media, through every way possible, we are living in a generation of the dumbing down of ideas. Because we have traded effectiveness for busyness.
If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it. You have greatness in you.
What I'm trying to tell you, beloved, is that you can have a new year, but it don't mean jack diddly if you don't have a new mind. I'm telling you that you can buy a new car, but if you put the old man in a new car, you're still going to have the old experience. Statistics say we are busier than any other generation we have seen in the last 300 to 400 years. We are so busy. We are busier than a one-armed wallpaper hanger. We're just busy. We are just as busy as we can be, and we think because we're busy, we're effective. But I want you to challenge your schedule for a minute and ask yourself, are you really being effective, or is your life cluttered with all kinds of stuff that demands you and drains you and taxes you and stops you from being your highest and best self? And are you substituting busyness and all the chaos that goes along with busyness from being effective? Let me tell you, a bunch of scientists got together and they began to do some research, and they begin to determine that 80% of the things we do are busy things that we do in an area that is not effective, that the average person only spends 20% of their time doing the thing that they are really gifted at. Through until something is done, come hell or high water. Tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it anyway, and you show up and you continue to fight on no matter the circumstances. Tired as you are, as many mistakes as you made, you do make a difference. There is something they would lose if you were not there. There was something that they would miss if you were not there. You do make a difference.
We all have things that we're believing for, dreams that we want to accomplish, problems we're hoping will turn around. Maybe it's to see our family restored, to lose some weight, to break an addiction, to start our own business. But sometimes as it goes on, month after month, even year after year, and we don't see anything changing, it's easy to get discouraged and think,
to get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. If every time you go to better yourself, somebody hits you with a line like, why would you want to do that? You need to find another social circle if I'm going to fall. I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. We did not come this far to just break down and lose not.
By grace and mercy, by blessings from God, my life is because God has seen it to be so. Oh, but I got plenty of people around me who want credit and want you to not give credit to God and give it to them. I got that. But it's okay. It's so clear to me what my father was saying to me. I get it as I get older and older. People come into your life for seasons. And I guess that's the same thing. You know, they season up, they gone. Well, you know, hear the way they try to hold you. Oh, you gonna forget where you come from? Oh, you ain't gonna keep it real no more? I don't wanna go back where I come from. I don't wanna keep it that real no more. It was real enough for me living in a car. I had enough of that real. No, I don't keep it real. I wanna go keep it dreamy. I wanna go keep it fantasizing. I wanna keep it out of this world. I wanna see what that's like.
I've got companies that are in the education space. I bought Adweek with a group of partners. I have my financial companies. So the diversity I have is mind-boggling, but that's also the secret to investing. You know, if you've got all your eggs in one basket and there's a problem, you need to make sure you run your business really successful, give it your all, not start 20 of them. But once that business really is strong and your investments are strong, then you can build a second one. Most people, they build a business and then it's not going as well as they want, so I start another business because it feels more exciting. And it's like, you have one child you're not taking care of, so let's have a second child and a third child, and it just doesn't work. But the diversity of it also makes me excited. So I manage 12 of them actively. The others, I have such great partners. Like, you know, I own the Major League Soccer new franchise in LA. I'm a partner in that. It's called the LA Football Club. Well, my partner is Peter Guber, who owns the LA Dodgers and owns the Golden State Warriors, and about as smart a human as you could ever have in the sports field.
Always offers you a second chance. You know what it's called tomorrow for far too long. You've been holding yourself back. This is time for you to walk with purpose. It's time for you to walk into your gift. It's time for you to live your best life. It's wrapped in your capacity, your ability to believe in a dream, even if nobody believes in you.
So no, I ain't gonna forget where I come from, but you ain't gonna hold me to that though. Thoughts become things. Where are the things that you want written down? What do you think about the most? How grateful are you for what all God has done for you? Where you at with that? If all you thinking about is your debt, if all you thinking about is what you ain't got, if all you thinking about is every time I turn around I'm sick, if all you thinking about is the things in life that you're lacking, and if thoughts become things, how much debt you think you gonna stay in? How much lacking you think you finna fill your life with? How much more stuff you finna not have? 'Cause you keep thinking about it all the time. When you gonna be grateful? When you gonna say thank you? When it's gonna come out your mouth, man, that I may not be where I wanna be, but I sure am grateful for what you've given me so far.
And then I bought, in the esports field, that's mind-boggling. We fill whole stadiums now with people watching people play video games. So I bought Team Liquid, which with my partners, with Peter and everyone else. And so, I mean, the opportunities are just amazing because I'm partnering with people who have skills that are the best in the world, and I'm bringing mine. And you combine them, you know, you get a greater impact.
It's until you open your mind, open-mindedness creates that. We all shut down our mind. Like, for instance, when I broke the pull-up record, everybody around me who heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups. That's the first thing they did. Oh my God.
4,024 hours? Or
yeah, it's 4,020 pull-ups in 24-hour period.
Yeah.
The first thing I did versus closing my mind, like, oh my God, that's crazy. I went and got a pen.
So how many is that every minute?
Exactly.
Every hour, every second.
Instead of taking life and making it out to be this grandiose thing, start breaking it down.
Support you can get you there. Put your goddamn head down and take charge here in life. True desire in the heart that it's that. You have whatever it is you want to do. The thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money. The desire that it's that's God's proof to you. Set before and already to vindicate that. It's yours. You can't get it because you want it. If you put in the work, they can't deny you. If you put in the work, they can't stop you. The great pursue your own version of happiness.
The confident to do what they want to do, to sometimes do what they should. And so they come to me and they ask me, how do I become a more confident person? And I would like to share with you quickly 3 ways that you could begin to build into your self-confidence that will allow you to go to a level that a lack of confidence will hold you back and keep. The first thing I would share with you, that if you want to be a confident person, you have to take action. Confidence is a result of something. And so many times people cheat themselves because they lack that confidence, so they don't do what they should do, only to leave saying, I wish I would have done that. I can remember when I was in my 20s, I went to a meeting with leaders that were older than I, wiser, bigger, better, faster. What was I, 27? They probably averaged 45, 50. And I was overwhelmed by the fact that I was truly, not trying to be humble, I was truly the least in the room. And I could have learned so much from them. And in fact, they gave times for us to ask questions, and I held back. And I didn't ask questions, and I left that meeting, and I really realized how I cheated myself. And I determined that I would never let that happen again. Now, why didn't I ask the question? Because I lacked the confidence. I thought, well, it's probably a silly question to them. They probably answered that question 1,000 times. They'll look at me and say, wow, he doesn't really like. And I determined that day that regardless of how intimidated I was going to become, I was never going to cheat myself, and that I was always going to ask the question, even though I figured it may be a real. What was I doing with my confidence? I was making a determination to take action on something that I didn't feel comfortable. And trust me, I did. I never broke that promise to myself, and today I can look back at many times where I just went ahead and did it. I didn't feel comfortable, but I went ahead and did it. And each time I took action, it began to give confidence. The second thing that I have done to build my confidence is to share with others and help them. One of the things I found is that you begin to feel better about yourself when you help other people get better. And so therefore, there's a confidence booster in making yourself invaluable to others because you're always adding value to them. And so I grew my confidence not only in taking actions on things that I perhaps was intimidated with, but I, quote, did it anyway. I grew my confidence by the fact that I began to meet people's needs. And because I met their needs, I began to be valued, and I began to have influence with those people, and all of that process helped me to become a more confident person. The third thing that I did is I spent time with confident people. There's no security like being people. You know it. You know it when you're with them. You know it when you're not with them. You can feel it in the room. A lot of my leadership has been based on the fact that I provide a lot of secure people. They just know. If they hook up with me, if they read my book, if they kind of follow me, if they listen to my lesson, they're going to get better. And that security helps them to become more secure and confident themselves. That's exactly what I did as a young leader. I found people that were confident, and I hung with them. I watched them. I asked them questions. I learned from them. But more than anything else, I immersed myself in the environment of a confident person.
We experience whatever we focus on. So if you're focusing on how things won't work, you're going to feel the pain that you associate to that. You're going to create a tremendous amount of doubt, and then it usually becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't get what you want. Let me give you a kind of a simple example. I'd like you to try something. Please listen and please do this. What I want you to do is think of something you really want to have happen in your future. Something you like to have or do or be. And what I'd like you to do is hope that you'll get this to happen in your life. Okay, try it. Think of something you really want in your life, something you really want to have happen, and hope it'll happen. Notice how it feels when you hope it'll happen. You may even notice what you say to yourself when you hope something will happen. Now what I want you to do is get out of that state. Completely get out of that state for a second. And now let's have you think about the same thing you want to have happen in your life, but this time I want you to expect that it will happen. Absolutely, totally expect it. Know it. okay? And when you know it's going to happen, I want you to notice what happens to the pictures in your mind as you think about it. What's different? I want you to notice the difference in your body. Absolutely expect it will happen. You expect this will occur. You absolutely know it. Now, I got a question for you. Is there a difference in how you feel in your body, first of all? And I think you'll find the answer is yes. In addition, is there a difference in even how you visualize these two things in your mind? There are several distinctions that I make usually with confidence.
An essential part of awakening spiritually is going beyond a conceptualized sense of self and living in a conceptual reality. And of course, all that implies being identified with thinking, because concepts are thoughts. So for many people, the question arises, how do I see myself? And there's a very common problem people have, and that's called self-esteem. What value do I have? What value does my life have compared to others? Some years ago, the Dalai Lama was asked by somebody about self-esteem, and he didn't understand the word self-esteem. And somebody, the interpreter, spent several minutes trying to explain to him the meaning of self-esteem, and he just couldn't get it. Now, of course, you might say, well, if I were the Dalai Lama, I wouldn't have a problem with self-esteem either. But that's not it. Self-esteem, in the way in which it's conventionally used, is comparative, and it's always connected to ego. How do I rate myself relative to others, either in achievement, worldly achievement, abilities, knowledge, physical appearance, physical strength, good looks, bad looks, fat, thin, and usually it's related to what you have, possessions, what you can do, abilities, what you know, knowledge, and physical appearance. And that's an interesting thing when you look at your life from that point of view. There's always a sense of unease, because there are always others who are better at least some of these than you are, and then there are others who are worse. I would suggest that the only healthy self-esteem is a self-esteem that is derived from a deeper place than any of those things that usually make up a person's self-esteem.
Your words become your reality. You are where you are today, in part because of what you've been saying about yourself. Words are like seeds. When you speak something out, you give life to what you're saying. If you continue to say it, eventually that can become a reality. Whether you realize it or not, you are prophesying your future. And this is great when we're saying things like, I'm blessed, I'm strong, I will accomplish my dreams, I'm coming out of debt. That's not just being positive, you are prophesying victory, prophesying success, prophesying new levels. Your life will move in the direction of your words. But too many people go around prophesying just the opposite. I never get any good breaks. I'll never get back in shape. Business is slow. I'll probably get laid off. Flu season is here. I always get it. They don't realize they are prophesying defeat. It's just like they're calling in bad breaks, mediocrity, lack. You can't talk defeat and expect to have victory. You can't talk lack, not enough, can't afford it, never get ahead, and expect to have abundance. If you have a poor mouth, you're going to have a poor life. If you don't like what you're seeing, start sowing some different seeds.
Can't do this. It's impossible. It's never gonna happen. Just give up. Just settle. It's not meant. Accept defeat. You're not the one. They just better. You're too weak. No one wants to hear you. Try something else. No one likes you. Just follow. Do like everybody else. Do it the easy way. Accept being broke. Quit dreaming. What are you doing? Why do you have to be so damn different?
We all have this negative self-talk that goes in our head. Guess what? There's enough people that are telling us we can't do it, that we're not good enough. Why do we want to tell ourselves that? We know for a fact that thoughts influence actions. We saw it there with the video Sheldon, Dr. Levy showed, right? We know that our thoughts influence actions. Why do we want to say that negative self-talk to ourselves? We need to get our own self-affirmations. Muhammad Ali, what was his self-affirmation? I am the greatest. Who else is going to tell you? There need to be quiet moments in your bedroom, quiet moments when you're brushing your teeth, that we need to reaffirm, I am the captain of my ship and the master of my fate. That is my affirmation. If I don't believe it, no one else will. How do you build self-confidence? Get away from the people who will tear you down. There's enough of that. Muhammad Ali, I am the greatest. There is no one better than me. It's a difference between hubris and ego and false pride. It's just reminding yourself in quiet, silent moments. I put it down on a list. It's right beside my mirror, right? About all the things that make me who I am. Because I make enough mistakes, and the newspapers will recognize it, and people around me will recognize it, and they'll tear me down. And pretty soon I'll begin to believe it. Stop the self-talk, the negative self-talk. If you'll watch, you'll see some athletes, they'll have a little bandage or a little brand around them. Lance Armstrong's a perfect one. What's his self-affirmation? Live Strong isn't a brand. It was to remind him of who he was. Live strong. Then it became a brand. He would move that from one arm to the next arm when doubt and fear came into his mind. Live strong. Put it on there. Let's go. We'll all have it. Replace it.
Somewhere deep inside, you know what kind of person you were designed to be. If you want to produce great acorns, think like an oak, not like an acorn. Think like the person you intend to become.
Every seed has a tree in it, and the potential success of that tree is in that seed. And that's the way you are. Whatever you were born to do and be is in you now, and the success of your life depends on you becoming all that is trapped inside of you.
What kind of seed is in you? I believe part of our responsibility in life is to find out who we are.
You were not born just to make a living and keep a job and pay bills and then die. You were not born just to retire and get some pension and then fade away and we put you in a plot somewhere.
You and I were born with the gift to make this a better place.
Our circumstances and situations did not lend itself to us being successful. Many of us were not raised in an ideal circumstance that prepared us for where we really wanted to go. And even though we love the idea of being progressive or prospering or intelligent or spiritual, the reality is we were not aligned in the direction that we needed to be aligned to go to where we're trying to go.
Ask yourself, how would the person I'd like to be do the things I'm about to do?
Success for the next year is going to be you making another step toward fulfilling your purpose in life while you were born. Making another step.
Work to your potential, not your quota. If you want to stay really motivated, if you want to answer the question to why people that have already made it keep pushing, it is because they don't operate on quotas, they operate off potential. They're driven to reach their potential. This is also tied to their ethical obligation. They know what they're capable of. Nobody can tell you what you're capable of. You're the only one that knows. Work to your potential, not just a quota, and I promise you, you will be on fire day and night.
Unless you change the way you're thinking, unless you change your behavior, you're going to continue to produce the results in your life. See, all of us are winners, because some of us are producing results that we don't want. And so all you have to do is look at your game plan, look at your strategy. How is it that you have been being? What is it that you've been doing to produce this? So you're the director, you're the producer, you're writing the script, you're the star of your life. And as you begin to look at your life, you can decide whether or not it's a smash or whether or not it's a flop. That's in your hands. Look at your life, look at where you want to go. Don't worry about your circumstances. Don't worry about your age. If you want to make this your decade, you've got to start saying yes to your life. You've got to start saying yes to your dreams, yes to your unfolding future, yes to your potential. So you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to say yes to your dreams. Why not? Why not me? Don't spend time like most people going through life complaining. Use that energy to get up from there and move on and get on with your life. You got to learn to let the past go so you can grow. Many people never act on their dreams because they allow their past experiences to determine what their possibilities are. Whatever you've done in the past, that's not a reflection of your possibilities. That's just a reflection of your consciousness. That's just a reflection of your development and your growth. The future is unfolding for you right now. The future is unlimited for you right now. No one knows where you can go. No one knows what you're capable of or what's possible for you.
It has everything to do with how you eat. It has everything to do with how you work out, how you prepare. It has every single thing to do with how you think. It has every single thing to do with nothing about this, but everything you do as you're getting prepared for that. And when you want it as bad as you want to breathe says, I'm willing to make any sacrifice. I'm willing to go through any pain. I'm willing to go through any suffering. I'm willing to go through whatever it takes. So when I get in there and it's me and him one-on-one, that I guarantee you at the end of it, I won't be the one that surrenders. Nobody goes in there to lose. You both want the exact same thing. You both got family out there. You both got friends out there. You both got people who invested their time and their resources and their wisdom. And you both got guys out there who at the end of the day want to smile. But at the end of the day, the person that will surrender is the person that didn't work as hard as the other person. I guarantee you that his trainer is saying he did this and he did that, he did this and he did that. I guarantee you that this person didn't just start doing this for the first time. And some of you in here, you on the upswing. Like for real, you trying to get back. You're trying to get back to a certain place. You're trying to make a name for yourself. And I'm telling you, this is the opportunity to do it. But what do you have to do? You got to work harder than the other person.